So we'll look at circles today, and the equation of a circle is going to be given by x squared plus y squared equals r squared, and r equals the radius. Of course, an equation will always have x and y. So this circle, let's have a look so we can just draw it. A nice circle, not very good at circles. Looks a bit like an orange, but that's not bad. So there's our circle. Anytime the equation is x squared plus y squared on its own, the center will always be 0, 0. So center 0, 0 whenever x squared plus y squared is the equation. The r is going to be the radius across here. From there to there, that's the distance from the radius, that will be r. But the formula, the equation has this r squared in here. So take note that whatever number is back there, the square root will be the radius. Okay, this is question 2 in the book. It says, for each equation, state the radius of the corresponding circle and give the coordinates of one point on the circle. So we'll do A, let's see what it looks like. We've got x squared plus y squared equals 36. So we know that the center is 0, 0, and the radius is the square root of this number here, 6. So if we draw this circle out, we know it's got center 0, 0. So we just do any old circle. Now the great thing is we know the radius is 6. So we know that this distance here must be 6. Therefore that point there must be 6, 0. We know that this distance here must be 6, so that point there must be 0, 6. This one over here is 6 as well, so this one is going to be -6, 0. And this one down the bottom, again, will be the mirror image, 0, -6. So 4 easy points we can find on a circle as long as we've got center 0, 0. Now, if you take a question like question 20, the radius for this one would be the square root of 20, which is 2√5. So therefore, the 4 points on the circle would be here. That would be √20 or 2√5, 0, and everything else would be similar to the question we just did in terms of finding the 4 points or a point on the coordinate on the circle. This is question 3 from the book. It says, for each point, find an equation for the circle that is centered at the origin and passes through the point, then check your answer by graphing the circle. So what they're saying is that each of these circles will have center 0, 0, as we talked about before. That means, so we're going to do A, which is, they give you the point -4, 3. So we know we've got center 0, 0. So we know the equation must be always x squared plus y squared equals r squared. So all we need to do is find the radius r. We know it goes through this point here, -4, 3, so -4, 3 is up here. That's the point -4, 3 there. Now if we can find this distance here, then that is the radius, and that distance will be found by the distance formula, the square root, x2 minus x1, -4 minus 0 squared, because we know that the origin is 0, 0, and then plus y2, 3 minus 0 squared. So negative 4 minus 0 is negative 4, square it 16, positive 16, plus 3 minus 0 is 3, square it 9. Now take that mistake in there away. Where's my eraser? It's not there. Where's the eraser gone? (16 plus 9 is root 25, which is 5. So the radius is 5. Your final answer, x squared plus y squared equals r squared. Well, if r is 5, r squared will be 25. Question 4 here, determine whether each point is on, inside or outside the circle defined. So you've got the circle is x squared plus y squared equals 34. And we know from here that the radius equals root 34. Okay, and the point we're going to look to find is 5, negative 3. So is 5, negative 3 on this circle or not? 5, negative 3 is about down there. So we have to find this distance here and to see whether that is going to be equal to root 34, greater than or less than. And we know that the origin is the center of this circle because we've got x squared plus y squared. So d equals the square root 5 minus 0 squared plus negative 3 minus 0 squared. That's the distance formula. So it's the square root 25 plus 9 equals root 34. Therefore, 5, negative 3 is on the circle. If the answer was less than root 34, say root 32, root 31, root 30, it would be inside the circle. If the answer was greater than root 35, root 37, root 38, etc., then it would be outside the circle. So we have questions 5, 6, and 7 here. Question 5, a satellite orbits on a circular path with equation x squared plus y squared equals 1.44 times 10 to the 8. Another satellite orbiting in the same plane passes through the point 8,000, 98. So you can do the same thing here. You know that the formula is x squared plus y squared, so it's got a center of 0, 0. This is a bit confusing, this last bit, 1.44 times 10 to the 8. It's just a big number, that's all. The radius will be the square root of that. Just go through that very quickly for you, 1.44. Well, 10 to the 8 is 10 squared times 10 to the 6. Because we add the powers here and here. 2 plus 6 is 8. And if you know your numbers, 10 squared is 100. 100 times 1.44 is 144. And times 10 to the 6, that should be 144, not 1.44. That dot shouldn't be there. Square root of 144 is 12. So the radius is 12 times 10 to the 3. The square root of 10 to the 6th. Just divide the power by 2. 6 divided by 3 is 2. 6 divided by 3, 2 is 3. So the radius of this question here. So you've got to now decide how far this point here is away from the center by using the distance formula. So that's question 5. Question 6 says, determine an equation for the circle that has diameter. So you've got diameter, 2 points of the diameter, negative 4, 3, and B, 4, negative 3. If you look at the diagram of that, negative 4, 3 is up here, 4, negative 3 is down here. So you've got a circle that goes through these 2 points like that. looks like an orange. The midpoint will be the center of the circle, and I think you'll find that's 0, 0. So therefore you can find the equation. How do you find the radius? Use the distance formula between either of the 2 points. Question 7 tells you've got an equation, x squared plus y squared equals 100, and it gives you a point on the line of a comma 8. Well, you just substitute a in for x and 8 in for y, and you're going to get at the end of it something like a squared equals a number, and therefore a will equal plus or minus the answer, and that's the answer to the question. It says explain why there are 2 possible values, because you're going to get a plus and a minus of each question. So I want you to do questions 6, 7 and 8, 5, 6, 7 in class, and that should get you to the end of class. A question here for the homework, perhaps, or even the end of class, and it wouldn't be anything without a farmer question. Farmer's building a circular corral to hold livestock. Gives you an equation there, x squared plus y squared equals 64. Again, center 0, 0. Radius will be the square root of 64, which is 8. Okay, and then you go through and answer the questions. Find the length of fencing. So you need to know the length, so you know the circumference of a circle is 2 pi times the radius. So you can work that answer out. Find the area. Well, you know the area of a circle is pi times r squared. Should be an easy question. Question 13 will be the homework. And again, if you work through it, just do a quick diagram for you. There's your circle, there's your axes. Again, we know x squared plus y squared equals 25, so the radius is going to be 5. That point there will be 5, comma 0, we know that. And they give you a point -3, -4. And it says construct AO, well there's AO. And then the final part is the tangent line. And the tangent line is the line that's perpendicular to the radius. So you've got to find this slope, and therefore you find this slope because it's perpendicular, and we know that perpendicular slopes are negative reciprocals. We know it goes through this point here, therefore you can find the equation.